Hi guys, welcome back to another For Those Code video. This channel is where we discuss and learn new skills around the topics of design and development. If you want to grow your skills and learn new things that's coming up, please subscribe for more videos just like this. Don't forget to smash the like button for me. This really helps me to create more content. In this video, we'll be learning on how we can test our application with Cypress. If you're losing patience, please feel free to sum to a specific location added in the timestamp down below. Before diving in to write our first line of test with Cypress, let's learn a bit about Cypress and what are the available testing options provided by Cypress. So we are inside of Cypress.io official website and talking a bit about Cypress. Cypress is a next generation front-end tooling built for a modern web, and it's an automated testing suite designed to cover both end-to-end and component testing. And they also have a good documentation inside docs.cypress.io, and I'll be really referencing through the docs as we go along in this video. Obviously, Cypress is also open source, so open source testing framework based on JavaScript, and that supports web application testing. Cypress is built with modern libraries like Mocha and Chai that supports BDD and TDD assertion styles. Talking about the major benefits of Cypress, which has highlighted in the docs here. It has a time travel debugging, so we could debug through the execution of the test that's going on, and we can go back and forth. And debuggability, so we can debug directly from debuggable tools, which is great. And it has automatic waiting, so no need for slips or waiting for our function or any promise to resolve or set timeout. That's on automatic waiting, and stubs, speeds, and clocks. So I haven't really used these, but we will probably get to these in later videos. And network traffic control, yeah, we'll be getting to how we can stop our XHR HTTP calls using stubs.intercept and constant results. So we have they repeatedly stress themselves. They don't really use some architecture like Cilium or WebDriver, but they are completely different. Screenshot and videos, we can obviously take some screenshot and videos of our tests that's running on cross-browser testing. We can have a choice between how we can choose Chrome, Electron, Edge, and all the stuff like to test our tests on. So talking about these benefits of Cypress, it has become one of the top tier choice of testing our modern application that we built today, right? So let's take a look at what we are really testing. So I've already created our project and named it Cypress React Cypress Testing, and we have a couple of folders here, which is backend and frontend. Let's go through the backend first. So inside of backend, we have data, which is just item.json file. So we'll be serving this file through an Express server, and we'll be consuming these hard-coded JSON data inside of our front end, nothing more. So we have the front end of our application that's created with Vite and React, and we don't have any signs of Cypress in here. So we'll be installing Cypress inside of our front-end application. And let's bring up our terminal. And for our terminal, we have 3 terminals that's running in parallel. Probably it's better to use Tmux, something like Tmux, but I'm really new to Tmux. But anyway, we have this backend and front-end terminal. So let's bring up npm run dev in backend, and also in the front end we will run npm run dev. This particular terminal will be using to run Cypress tests. So let's go to localhost 5000. Sorry, what was that? 5173. Okay, and we can see a loading a bit, and we can see the these data. So I wonder why the images are not loading here, but the images are loading. Anyway, so we will be testing this e-commerce application, which has a custom API server mocked for our testing purpose using fixtures, and we'll be stubbing our API calls. We will also ensure all the features and functionality of this application are working as expected. So with this example test that you are looking here, we will be learning all the major things that we need to learn about end-to-end testing inside of our application. We are using React obviously in the front end, but you can use any other JavaScript library and frameworks to get started with Cypress. And you can find their official docs also shared and attached for you for reference down below. And yeah, let's go through what are the common functionalities that we did. So we have a couple of items here. It's a dead simple e-commerce application. Add to cart, a few of headphones, and we can see 3 items has been added to cart. And we can visit this cart page and we have the 3 items. No, I don't need a headphone because I already bought one. And we have the wafer classic flower pots. It's good to have flower pots on your table, but the cart is empty. All right, and we have no items in the cart, and we can still add an item and remove an item. This is that simple e-commerce application, and we'll be implementing some of the major concepts of Cypress in this application testing that we'll be creating using the describe and eat block, which enables us to encapsulate our tests in a blocks. And these blocks are really handy coming from Mocha, which is used by Cypress under the hood. We'll be interacting with the DOM on click events, chaining assertions and commands, writing our custom commands, spy, stub, extra request to mock our functions in Cypress, using fixtures to load up some data inside of our application, and running passing test and debugging our application. All right, so these are pretty much things that we'll be covering in this video. So enough of this talk, let's dive right into code. So inside the project that was created before, which will be shared in the link down below, we'll be stopping our server. Let's kill it. And inside of our front end, we'll be installing Cypress. So we really haven't installed Cypress yet. Cypress dash D, or let's add dash save dev. I think that's the same. So we are just adding Cypress as a dev dependency, so that Cypress would come here. And yeah, Cypress is here. So before anything, let's go to like getting started installing Cypress. We already have added save dev. Now the next step would be like adding some handy thing inside of our package.json file. Inside of our scripts here, let's add another piece of line of code where we'll be just spinning up Cypress with this command, Cypress open, with just npm run Cypress. So if we just add npm run Cypress, then it should do the work. So and we have this Cypress terminal that's popped out, and we can see here we have the 2 types of different type of tests that's available to us, which is end-to-end test and component testing, which is still in beta, right? So first of all, we're going through end-to-end in this video. So let's click on end-to-end, and after clicking on it, let's go to continue. As we can see here, we have little snippets where we could add a custom command and something like that, and add a fixtures, something like this. So let's go to continue, and we will be going to Chrome and start testing in Chrome. And it pops out another video, another iframe, kind of like iframe. And then if you go to specs, we don't have any specs yet. So let's go ahead and create a new empty spec. So let's name this particular spec like it would be in the folder structure Cypress E2E, and the spec name and site.js. All right, for our first like test we will be writing, we'll be adding up tests for our application, which is just test the working cart. So for now I will just name it working cart dot site.js, and press on create spec. Okay, so now let's go ahead and run spec, and as you can see here we have this spec that's running. So if we take a look into your code base, then what we can see here is we have the Cypress folder that has been created, and we have a couple of files and folders that's created for us. So this particular file that has been created is the same file that we renamed working cart .site.js, and we have the fixtures, support, and everything like that, right? So we'll be adding end-to-end tests right here, and we'll be adding fixtures. We'll be writing our custom commands here, and this is basically E2E.js. We don't have to really touch this file. All right, so now let's move on to our next step of like adding some environment variables inside of our E2E test. So let's go to our working cart.js, and we have a describe block here and also a it block, right? So inside here what we can do is we can just visit the page because we are visiting a different page, which is example.cypress.io, but we want to instead to visit the root page, visit page, and we want to visit this main route. So let's not this but this. Let's hit save and let's see that in action, and it visited this route, but we don't have anything there. All right, so let's go ahead and fix this. So to fix the main route like this, we need to go to our Cypress config file. So we can go to cypress.config file, and inside here we can see we have something called E2E, which is end-to-end, and we have something called setup node events. So we really don't have to care about that, but rather than we add a base URL and call it like which is this URL that's serving up, which is our front end, which is this, and add a comma here. So with this, let's go ahead and save it, and let's take a look at in the browser of Cypress, and we have something called working cart inside of our specs. We can add multiple specs here, but we just have one spec file, which is 01. It's added 01 because by default Cypress tests are executed alphabetically, I suppose, as per my understanding. So we added 01 because this should be executed first for that. Yeah, let's go ahead and click it, and it says we couldn't find it. Let's see why. HTTP localhost 5073. If we like hit save, then take a look. All right, so I have already restarted the server, and now what happened was our localhost 5173, which is serving the front end, is serving through Cypress. So which is great, right? So we could add some tests right in here, and we can hit the save, and it reflects itself in the Cypress here. So first it adds like visits a page, and we can add a multiple it blocks. So let's add it, and we could describe this it block. So let's check the navbar first, so that it has the thing called soppers, because we are like testing out our application, and it's called soppers site.get, and we want to get element. This is just running in the browser, not in Cypress, so we could like get this element, but we have a random class. So what we could do is we could add an attribute that's called data sci inside of our shoppers. So let's go ahead and go to our src, and this would be really handy for us when we are accessing the data sci attribute, because class names may change, but this would remain the same, right? So let's go ahead and save this, and we could go back to our working cart here, and data.sci, what was that was and if we go back, it's shop name that we added here, which is the shop name, and we are saving that file, and we are coming back, and it's the shop name. All right, so let's go ahead and save this and see this in the browser. And as we can see here, our application has reloaded, and it's checking the navbar, and it has found this get data dash shy shop name, and the test is passing currently, right? So we can see get and data the site shop name, and it's passing. So everything looks green and everything is passing. All right, so now let's go ahead and add a few more blocks of it blocks. So I'll just copy this stuff here. What we can do is we can like also add a bit of write some kind of like JavaScript, because it is JavaScript in the end. So let's check our main shop section. So inside here we want to add a constant and call it our motto, and that would be just you buy, we deliver is the motto. So this text, right? So let's go ahead and add some page titles to our motto. So if we take a look in the browser, then we can see our motto is inside of here, so which is the main page. So we will go to the main page, which is the item list, I suppose. And inside here we can add it's not inside here, we have the item, and we have, okay, it's here. So let's add data dash shy, and let's add this piece title right in there. All right, let's go ahead and save this, and we will go back. All right, so now what we could do is we could get this particular element inside of which we added a piece title, and hit save, and this also should pass, and it contains you buy, we deliver, but I think we have capitalized this. So let's hit save, and let's take a look, and we can see here our this is passing, and it's like it contains you buy, we deliver. All right, so now let's go ahead and check whether we have our list item, that's which is the list item right in here, and it's loading initially because we need to like call this widget in all of the it block. So it would be really great to add a before each to this. So I'll just remove this it block and replace it with before each, so that this runs before each of this it block is running. If we go ahead and save it, and we could see now we have our we buy, we deliver, and it ends up with some data in the UI, which is great. And now what we could do is we have this UI where we have 1 2 3 4 5 items. We could write another line of test, and we could get this particular item, which is the item list. So let's go ahead and add this particular item inside of our source, which would be inside of component and item list. And inside here we could add data sci item list, because we want to grab this. Let's hit save, and let's see this in action. Have a length of 5. Okay, so I hit save, and it has a length of 5. Okay, it was an assertion that's made, and it's a should assertion. So basically, if you visit Cypress documentation, the main thing that you need to understand is about the assertions and commands. So you can find assertions, something like assertions here, and these are all the assertions that we use during test. We have the should. Yeah, so should create an assertion with the dot should. All right, so now till this point we have our test running. So what we gonna do is we are going to test our basic functionality of like clicking on the card and that kind of stuff, right? So so now what we could do is we could go to the item list, which is the item list of items, and we could go to the first element of the item list and click on the button. So now if we hit save and take a look in the browser, we should see one item that has been added to cart because we just click on the first element of this cart. So and let's also check that we have the one items added to the cart. But before that, we could also click on the second item that also added to the cart, right? So now after adding this, then we could get the shopping badge. We definitely haven't really added this shopping badge data side attribute. So let's go to navigation bar where we have this shopping badge, and inside of our shopping badge it should be probably somewhere here. Yeah, it's here, shopping badge, and we hit save and we take a look at this and save it, and we should see that it's getting the shopping badge, and it has it contains the two, right? It contains two, which is great. Till now everything is passing, but if we just add it contains just one and hit save, it should wait for a couple of seconds. Behind the scene it's trying to like retry queries, in a sense, retry to find elements. Time passes out. So I think you probably can also configure some kind of like how many time should retry happens. You can find it in the official docs, like query retries or something like that. But yeah, let's like focus on like let's add it to right in here so that it passes. And we have added a 2 because it's it contains the two elements right in there. Let's hit save. I don't know why this is spinning a bit. And taking a look at the browser, then we can see that our everything is working as expected, right? Everything is as expected. All right, so now let's go ahead and add some couple more like tests to our files here. So until this point we have our shopping badge, and that contains that contains two, and we have everything that's passing. So we could further add some lines of test inside here. So we could add site.get, and we could get the another attribute. So I'll just bring in here because I don't have to like type it out each line. So we have site.get, and we have the attribute which is cart button, and we want to click it and we want to navigate to a different page. So let's hit save and let's take a look at in the browser. It looks like it didn't find the thing called cart button, right? So we will go ahead and see whether we have that cart button inside of our nav bar. So it's inside of our nav bar, and we have cart button. We don't have anything called cart button. So we will add data dash shy an attribute to this, so which is a cart button. Let's go ahead and save it, and let's go ahead and save our test as well, and it will refresh, and we are redirected to a new page which is my cart, and we have two items here. That's great. So now it's going fine. Till this point, we are achieving some kind of like working application that we want. All right. So let's go ahead and add a few clicks, a click event. For example, we want to click this particular item that's here, that's running in Cypress, and this particular item, and we want to delete it, and we want to check it whether we have just one item or two items in the cart. In that way, we are also like testing out the delete functionality side of things. All right, so to make it happen, we want to go to and grab add to cart the children, and we should now see it have the length of true, because we have two items inside of our cart. So we have successfully, we have two items highlighted there, which is great. So now let's also add another line of test. For example, we want to click on the button, the close, the button right here. We want to click on it. It just clicked on it, and it just we are making and should assertion where we have the length is 1. In a similar way, we want to click another button, and we want to have it has a length of 0, and we want to go to our main home screen, and all the cards has been cleared, right? So it's not really going to the home screen, because we asserted and expected that we have the length of 0 but got 1. So let's see why. Let's hit save. Why is this failing? We have asserted expected to be 0 but got 1. I think it does have a children of this, so what we can do is we can do some like checks whether it contains this children, or this contains this card is empty. So if we hit on save, then this should also pass, I suppose. And it does contain this, which is it does contain children get add to cart. It does contain, and we are going back to the home page, which is great. All right, so this is like we have covered some basic of end-to-end test, but we really haven't covered the other topics like fixtures and mocking some data and creating custom commands. So now let's move into like adding more E2E like here, and we will be creating a new file and call it mockdata.sci.js. So inside of this new file that's created, we want to add a describe block and call it mock some data, and inside here we could add some what is that? It, and we could also add something like only, so that it only just only tests this it block and not other it blocks. So it is fine for this because we just have one it block in this particular file. So in this file, we want to check the all items API calls, and we want to add another function as a callback there. So right here we want to add another line where we will create a command, which would be a custom command that we'll be creating, which would just like populating the data, right? So it would be populate data, and it's a custom command that we haven't really created. Why is this a crypto? It's trying to import the crypto model from Node. Anyway, site of populate data, and we really haven't gone through that yet. So let's go ahead inside of our commands, and inside here we want to that's inside support and command. So inside here we want to add a custom command here. So I'll go ahead and paste our custom command here and describe this a little bit, where we are creating a custom command and call it populate data. That's what we created right in here as a site.populate data, and it accesses the fixture files and accesses items. So we really haven't created any fixtures and called items inside of our fixtures, but we will now. So we want to get inside of our fixtures and create items.json file. So inside this items.json file, I'll paste in some JSON files that we'll be using, and I'll close this. And we won't be really needing fixtures because we are accessing site.fixtures and called items inside of our fixtures, which is this file. And we want to have our API endpoint, and so we want to intercept our API with site.intercept, and site.intercept would get any of these three parameters. For example, this is first thing is method, second is URL, and third is static response. So the last thing is just an alias that I've added, which is through as. You can search the Cypress docs for aliases, and we could reference this all items inside of our aliases. We could write in here site.wait, and we want to wait for this to resolve before we execute any other line of code. All right, this looks good. I will just go ahead and save it. And inside of our mock data site, we want to add we want to definitely call this particular custom command that we created, and we want to get the item list inside of our data site item list attribute, and it should have a children of 5 because we are feeding up data through these fixtures. So let's go ahead and save it, and it looks like Cypress is not running around now. So I will just go ahead and npm run Cypress, and it should bring up the Cypress amazing little box here, and we should be looking at 2 E2E tests that has been written. The first one is just like introductory, and second is just mock data. And it looks like intercept get 5. So we did not really intercept the request. Let me quickly restart the server. Looks like we forgot something really important. We need to add another file, which is new file, which is cypress.end.json. Basically, this file would just contain the localhost because we are accessing this inside of our commands right in here, taken from cypress.env, and we have the API server. So let's go ahead and hit save. Let's restart our Cypress locally, and taking a look at it, we should have a running test that's executed with the mock data served from the fixtures file. And it looks like everything is served from the fixtures files because I've added asterisks to all the items that's inside of our fixtures. All right. So now with this in place, we are able to stop our XHR request using site.intercept right in here. And it takes in method, URL, and static response. I've added comment here, and it's serving up this particular file, which is from fixtures, which is great, right? So this is really handy. So let's close this, and let's add a bit of other lines of tests we need. So we have 5 items loaded from the fixtures data. We want to click on the first item, third item, and the 5th item, right? So we want to grab the data, the dash shy attribute item list, and we want to click on the first, third, and the 5th item. And let's go ahead and save it, and let's take a look at it right here. And we can see here we have successful the running, and we have added 3 items to our badge. So now let's also like assume that we have the 3 items that's added in the cart. So I will just get the cart and give it an alias of as shopping cart, so that we can reference it with add shopping cart, shopping badge, and it contains 3, right? So this is just an alias that's assigned, and it contains 3. Let's go ahead and save it, and we can see here that it does contains 3. So our application is passing really well, and it's as expected. So now what we want to do is we want to go to the cart and go to this particular cart. So we will just click on it, and we will assume that it should have a length of 3, because we added 3 items to the cart, and we want to get the shop name. And if we hit on save, then we can see that we visited this page and we came back to this page, and we have these items. So one thing that haven't been tested in here is we want to remove from the cart, which we already test in this working cart.js, but we just added some fixtures data inside here. So we will just go through this badge and click it, and inside this particular page we want to click on the data cart. Inside this line we will paste in some lines that we have written earlier. We just check that the added to cart children should have a length of 2, and it clicks on it, should have a length of 1, and should have a length of 0. And until this point we can hit on save, and let's take a look at the browser. And expected div to have a length of 2 but got 3. So it should have a length of 3. Okay, yeah, so it the badge contains 3, so that's it contains 3, and this contains 2, and this contains 1. This should pass now, and it's passing. Now it's not getting this particular thing, which is data side added to cart inside here. So added to cart, because we already clicked on the name, right? So let's move this down here, so that we could click on the should have a length added to cart. I guess we could remove this and just head towards our home. So we have just one cart, one item. So let's repeat this. And child of 1 and child of 2. We can write 2, and we can write 1, 2, and 3. So and it clears all the cart, and we have 0 items to the cart. Let's go ahead and see that inside of here, and to have a length of 4, if we change this to 1, and it successfully passes because we have just 1 item there. Okay, so looks like everything is working well. The last item in the cart has 3 items, so we grabbed, there are 3 items, so we removed 3 items, and we check that the length is 1. So we have added few tweaks here and there, and currently our test looks something like this. So we populated some data with the help of fixtures and custom commands, and we have 3 items in our length of list of items, and we click on the first, third, and 5th button, and we should have 3 items inside of our shopping badge. and we click on the cart button, and we can see there are 3 items listed, because we have 3 items in the shopping cart and 3 items in the badge, and we also have 3 items in the cart. And we click on the first, second, and it's the last one, which is there are 3 items, there will be 2 items, there will be 1 item. We are removing item because we are clicking on the buttons of these red buttons that we can see here, which is highlighted here. So which is this one, get card list, right, which is highlighted this. And this is what it really helps doing time travel debugging. And we click on the button, and it should be like the card should be empty, and we click on the data size, shop name, and go to home page. So this is pretty much it, and we can see that in the visual side of things that Cypress is really awesome. And so guys, in this video we learned about how we can do end-to-end testing with our React application with Cypress. I hope you learned something new from this. If you want to learn more around the topics of design and development, please subscribe for more videos just like this. Don't forget to smash the like button for me. This really helps me to create more content. Thanks a lot, guys. See you in the next one.